Ebremu ene ewie nti be share some begimre na watna se na ye the update no e de amamo. Now in the wake of said a lot of Ghanaians omo ebisa senke benya a substantive defense minister and some bebre na ekoso in the absence of a substantive defense minister. Now ye the updates do na bremo on our borders Burkina Faso, Togo near a lot of defense issues and ekoso Emma Enran also update ebe toja ni kesi mu ene a pirate attack I call so ewo central region ekoye assembly. A lot of people were talking about it. Emma Ghana fishermen, over 71 of them omo ekoye stranded ewo nso and it say pirates are na ebi mususu agye atum so me Nigerians omo eko attack omo na so mkoto hye omo so ewo nso so ma omo hu ekoyehia omo ewo eposo ma anadwo na Ghana Army Ghana Navy omo etisi nso ne so a omo ekoye rescue mission eyiyi omo dodo na eji omo de omo back to the shores of Ghana na yenyine nim say asa no a lot of people na omo aye worried ema ebi mu kopie mu ododo na be pm senya breku in the central region ebi mu su kopie different shores na on our screens releaser Ghana Navy omo ede aba so Ghana armed forces and omo de buy but then the section which is the Ghana Navy omo ena omo ban ewo nsuo so nti omo enso de omo release aba eno ena we screens no so say the Ghana Armed Forces has successfully concluded search and rescue operations for distressed Ghanaian fishermen attacked by armed robbers at sea. The incident occurred approximately 35 nautical miles off the coast of Gomwanyano in the central region. Enti emu bia yeyi wo mu ne hu se na ewo horo na quickly no ye be kon na the updates in that particular release the buy na ngasa de abremo na o cheki senya breku for na ngasa na omu wom nipa aduanan so 47 omo ana na omo doso pa with omo hu ko hiehie omo wo nsuo so no senya na omo ye 47 ebi mu su kopie mu ewo tema and ebi mu su kopie mu at some other different shores na per reports na hono mu free omo koye badodo na omo ewo central regional na ekoye enigisem ewo hono se omo aba back na this raising calls amount for kase yenhwe ne enyi substantive defense minister and they are right after the state of the nation's address and the update Ebremu President John Dramani Mahama Waboso say yes indeed or the Shebegwa Kwamuni a substantive defense minister honum said ebeya and yema ekoso nyina obenya full time na wetimi ahwe na omo solve some of these issues because it's a threat na wa bontin omunye hu se muni minister bia wo ho a eno no musunya ho no ma hu se kwan da ho ometimi afa ho no ma ba na quickly in area the release a free the defense the Ghana Army but then before that no yenko ne yenko hwe senya breku form be pie mu anije na ewo mu a omo ediko hia omo na ye bia ewie ne ba ye de Ghana Navy omo release na ba mo yenko ne emra sese
problem. The central region is very serious. So good. Not
All right, enti ho baby ekohe sisi na yesenya breku ewo honoma na omo enipa 47 out of nipa 71 no omo enipa ewom ye 47 ewo honoma enti ekoye enigisem ewo honoma first batch by no ye 20 ansa na second batch so ebe etoa so ewo honomo na a lot of fishermen and also mo ye adwuma won so no they are talking about the fact that yankasa na ye maritime space ewo Ghana ha say no there has been a lot of security concerns and ema dodo na ekoso a ama ye defense on our sea ekwakoya ase because ye ntia se ye wo naval command ni bi ewo tema yo naval command ewo second D enti ye dan no bitimi cross here free what the center of our coastal area central region etimi bejeje seafarers omojeje omo eho ne emajeje omo outboard motors ni ade enti a lot of them omo show omo concerns are one of the seafarers or the nsem etu dwanti yenko tie how are epono so niema ekoso a enti they need the services and I say Ghana Navy also mo bom ho so yenko niema sisi
Gafo, yes, I'm a penny John Mahama there. In the Apopono, I want to free Nigeria. Where to walk across the Ghana border, Waba Ghana, Waba Yija for Yapapuno, a bit more for the F1. Let's say another 4 seconds. Come on, let's say where to watch it. You may never fool to watch a border. What about Jaffa for F1? In about no play the eggman. If I don't play the eggman. It's your summer paying it there. I'm never from home. In the 26th January, February. In the visa, however, the folk, what will be just for the no problem. It's your summer paying there. Off in the 26th February. I'm never from 1 2 months. And I found from Mobesi, what you take 10 to, and I say, what been out to one bottle? No one may lose swiffing. Why do I go 5 for their force? Let's see, I want to have. Them no bear, Nigeria in Biala Magana claim wow. So them no bear Gana claimer, Nigeria in Biala Gana claim. Them was Musuni.
All right, and one of the seafarers and our fishermen and our fisherman and an ode ninsem to your hochrimua. Omontiase say omutimi cross ya to me ba at the center of our coastal area. Na omu ebetimi ebeyes our operations way ewo honum. Most of them omo call for President John Dramani Mahama so beye bibi afa home because say your defense minister or making sure say bibia juma emsene ma bi say entimi nc a lot of minority do one also the summer to just say we should tool up the Ghana Navy say the be on betimi abomo ehun so ewo honum Ghana forces on Gasa page ewo X almost ede omo post and as omo dey release ebaye and quickly that is what we have on our screens. And to weigh a Ghana Armed Forces press release issued by the Department of Public Relations, General Headquarters, Burma Camp, Accra, and Eddie release nearby. So quickly, let's go through. Was it Ghana Armed Forces rescues stranded fishermen at sea? The Ghana Armed Forces has concluded its search and rescue operations, which started at dawn today to locate distressed Ghanaian fishermen at sea, approximately 35 nautical miles off the coast of Ghanaian in the central region. The fishermen got stranded after they were attacked by robbers who disposed the entire fishermen of their outboard motors and personal belongings. Affected boats include Argentina 2, Argentina 3, Sea Lion, and Bearman Sukwa, among others. And yes, the release of the finally, they've concluded the search. Obiaba back to Amari joining with their families. Some of the boats and I said vessels are omo ehunko kamu no ebi edin atudwa Argentina 2 Argentina 3 Sea Lion Bearman Sukwa ene de akeka omo etimi eboama omo gi omo. The Ghana Navy carried out the rescue efforts together with the Ghana Air Force supported by the local fishermen from Yenya and Osenya Breku general areas. Ghana Navy Special Boat Squadron with fast interceptors supported by the Ghana Navy ships from Eastern and Western Naval Commands were key to the rescue mission, which resulted in the safe evacuation from sea of 24 and 47 of the victims to Terr0r and Senya Breku, respectively. Interviews from the fishermen rescued indicates that no Ghanaian fisherman has been kidnapped. It's yes, but in the reports, I say ebi what Terr0r, ebi mu free Terr0r and Koye, and ebi mu so free Senya Breku and Koye. It's you 24. Yedi omo eko Terr0r and yedi mu 47 enso ebe pm ewo Senya Breku. Per the release Ghana Armed Forces omo de aba no kire mu a obi ani ho ya kidnapping no as we speak now. Obia abafie back a omo nyina ho atomo just that omo ho niema na ya gege e de afri omo nsama anu nti omo ka epono. So meanwhile the Ghana Navy is continuing patrolling of Ghana's exclusive economic zone, including the area in question. The Ghana Armed Forces urges all fishermen and maritime users to exercise extreme caution and report any suspicious activity as the situation is being assessed. It further acknowledged the massive and timely support of the Member of Parliament of the area, Gisela Tete Agbotui, the fisher folks and good people of Senya Breku, which aided the rescue efforts. The Ghana Navy remains fully committed to protecting Ghanaian fishermen, combating piracy and armed robbery at sea, and ensuring the safety of vessels within Ghana's exclusive economic zone. Veronica Ajo Ahen, Acting Director, General Public Relations, Ono Enede and Semno to Dra. AGS obo omo boa yema yetimi carry out this particular rescue mission obo abasona quickly no yebekoni akwakotie ensemo a what really happened at sea. Fishermen nangasa exclusively omo de omo nsem eto dwa kire mu se den what really happened. Omo so omo attack omo numpono no omo yesen ekwan be so omo fa ya omo attack omo timigigi omo ho ebi mu mobile phones, ebi mu outboard motors a ya mounte yetimi tutu ni nyina ma enu nti 35 nautical miles away you have to find a way to move your ship and answer your vessel to shore. Ni nyina ensemo a yebekọ na quickly ni yebekọ akọje ewo omo ho enom ewo ho. And yes, Ghana Armed Forces omo e de abasobododo na akoma the minister owo Senya Breku area honom Gisela Tete Agbotui edana se ewo ho with ne niema said the osibe pie mu ho ntem de emoa ebebre timamufo no ho mutimi rescue mission no. Enti quickly no yenko tie fishermen no omo ko sea yekọ attack omo no mo ankasa no mu nsemo a omo de to dwane emra sisi
I'm going to speak behind the home that don't roam the bay. Now we are so funny. Said your man was to say, machine here, from home near the machine. You do machine if you also make my first man, I'm going to me machine with the moment. No more number 2 from on machines. Their machines are they choose on the bay. Between them, minimum, you like I said. I have 4. I'm here 4. And the motion yeah, they're back by a time. Come on, when you're 2, when they're almost 3. They're going to say, I'm also going to 3 number 1. Yeah, they're going to 4 number 1. And the motion Casa, I'm a Casa, Ebecono movie. I'm in Nigeria. Okay. What's a mask? Uji. Oh, my God,
na omo kita boa omo kita she enti okay enti omo wi omo fine pa omo for Tamasai okay
All right, Way is from the horse's own mouth. Now, the last part of Mokaya, now I confirm say yes indeed. You better confirm say they are Nigerians, and it's a operations no. The many chair Terr0r side. Now it's say one free buyer from Nigeria, Benin, Togo, the Ghana, conductors our operation way. And a pair the no more kind of chema. Omokasa ni bibia chiremwa. Nigerians or must wash a mask. Nipa 9 a mukuta tuo and attack omo edgy omo near. The good news they say. President John Dramani Mahama State of the Nations address or the mayeno or can one some kakra mu say wa share a sector minister say on here na fishermen edioson baako 71 emu edionu n9 24 ewo Terr0r na emu 47 aka so ewo senya breku almost 71 ni nyina President John Dramani Mahama share say sector minister nhwe na omo enema bi omo hwere won so ne so no yensan fama omo back na omo outboard motors omo phones ra ye sika kakra wo mo ho no omo nema ye giye bia President John Dramani Mahama share say omo hwe na omo ensa emfa ni nyina emma omo ewo ehonom enti this is the update I free enra and somewhere I see ye ewo Ghana ye eposo ewo central region no ye dey update no dey amamo nti say currently there Ghana Armed Forces ya to just say omo operation no has come to an end, but then we can assure you say the naval command no from ye Terr0r there any secondary there no omo ebo ban see with the wake up incident see no omo ebo ban ye nim say sir a pirate attack hi ebs watermada ebs e Volta region so da na we per the numbers are omo hu kokan no mo doso pa and per what is currently happening in Ghana with security any identity ebeji din pa nipa dodo na ete ho asem ewo ehonom enti yes. Good news from Ghana Armed Forces. Omo operation na bewie all 71 fishermen. They've been rescued alongside with their boats. Just that omo outboard motors sisi so no omo agigini nyina omo premix fuel ne ade na wo omo nyina omo jeche. But President assure omo say there is going to be a restoration for all these fishermen. Yen to ansem no so ne fa update no emremo ye koya kwan so na ye the update bro minim say wanya sa alert we be da wo driving no wo otimi nya message bi ti say bia wo twam traffic light na omo the coordinate na send o we bi pote a ukotwa mu o traffic light no na omo the send o ni a che o say bia braha and as to your fine way through this number ni ade nipa nso ene a che omo a ye kire mu a omo SND they are issuing fake electronic traffic violation notices to drivers. Enti wo ha na send a message say what traffic lights what cross a red light na ya che wona say yes ya hako 50 but what twam no ko 70 camera and CCTV camera na capture enti wo betua fine wo be send fine na ba ha nyesa in 1 week time obeko court me amete hey menya some message ni bida cause I was coming from Kaswa me twam autobus or me check coordinates no so na ye ho but there is nothing like because a whole crown no before ube trato boot no onim say traffic kakra ho enti speed ben ya enana nipa no e kwa na me ankasa me kwa enti menya some alert so I was confused enti sa release way and I'm who say yes indeed say na enkofu bi share kire and na wo ho anoma send a fake traffic violation notice and on the whole squeeze ne so no or 7 arrested for issuing a fake traffic fake electronic traffic violation notices so the Police Intelligence Directorate has arrested 7 suspects in connection with a fake fake electronic traffic violation scam ewo ehonom enti we abaye ni gisam se nipa nso na Ghana Police Service omo da beto dwa se omo nsa so mu ewo honom a omo send fake menka ne say fake electronic violation and traffic violation alerts edeman confront you on your screens. Alfred, and on your screens, the Adaso Robert Akpalehe, where did 33 years. And also so Okahumbi Martin Kwashi, as you can see on your screens, and also 37 years. And also so in the Yensa Akano Ewo Honum, say on also so Kahon as and Obaba also so Ekahon Ewo Honuma, Omokabum Nipa and so as a said Ghana Police Service, almost say Omonsa Akaomo Alfred Kofi. Totime, on also 58 years, on also Ekahon Robert, the Aboni Dada, on also 33 years, on also Ekahon NT. The operation was an intelligence led Martha Kwashi, on also 37 years, on also Yoba, Okahon Ewohonum NT. There was a release, and I said there was a tip off a Ghana Police Service omu ejinemu at the Kochiomu. The suspects Martha Kwashi, Peter Ofori McCarthy, Robert Akpalehe and his brother Christian Akpalehe, a mobile money vendor Alfred Kofi Totime, Michael Edem Amemonu and Prosper Otunfo Prosper were arrested from their various hideouts at Adan and Winneba. Until now, ebimu ewa Adan and ebimu susuwo Winneba. And now this kind of syndicate send them out. Yes, send the message in brewa. Ni achira was send o fine no ebraha. Tie as o fine near 300 cities. They have an avenue where send this sikano ediako na omo aji se sikano de free when yes obeko court. Preliminary investigations established that the suspects set up an online application and sent fraudulent electronic traffic violation messages to unsuspecting members of the public, asking them to pay fines through a provided link. Yes, and investigations further revealed that the suspects Prosper Otunfo registered several Terr0r cash SIM cards in the names of family members and associates, but kept them in his possession to receive payments from victims. Later, he will transfer the funds for distribution to some of his accomplices. Exhibits. Exhibits retrieved from the suspects include a cash amount of 10,978 Ghana cedis, laptops, hard drives, several mobile phones, multiple Terr0r SIM cards, bank cards, and identification documents. We wish to once again urge the public to report such fraudulent electronic traffic violation notices to the public, to the police for appropriate actions. Yes, updates no near the Mamunipan song. It is also Hona Unya Sa alert TB. Na Ushemwa baby free. I didn't cross red lights. Now, me cry me pay koto watch wa hey baby I'm fine. No traffic lights crane ho. But also when your message na omo de ebia o car number ka ho pepepepe do details nyina e de aba car owner chassis number bibia na omo de aba to who pe na o yema show yes me mra court court so asem de different on your screens omo ayensa ka omo no na etwagu e wo no nipa enso 53 or 58 years man Alfred Kofi Totime papa e wenyi no okọ retirement no afei na one start a year fraudulent act e wo no enti that is the update enti Ghana Police Service almost wunya release bia ana wunya alert bia sa momo aso ente na omo take the necessary actions here call the Parliament House. Now the updates if you honor Eddie Abba. Now per what is currently going on our Parliament House no honorable Kojo upon Kroma Edin Sema Betu Jachiremua. Sa gold menka is a gold program. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia Eshasie Senka Obe implemented somewhere the end of 2024. Ye be implemented omu enya Shasie no mu free abemu no. Parliament ajatum CCA omu edi eba be ye juma. And as our starting po Eddie A. Jumada, breaking news. Parliament approves Dr. Baumia's gold program for the government to use. Now, Honorable Kojo Ponkroma de Sembibria Tuja on this particular year and some of my jatum or parliament. And quickly, no, Yabe Konya Kwakuti Honorable Kojo Ponkroma Yaba, na Yabe Twaso de Amamo.
the government side today what the two pillars of this gold component are. And they told us that they will be using CD to buy gold to add to the bullion, and using CD to buy ASM gold, trade it for Forex, and add to Forex. Mr. Speaker, that is gold for reserves and gold for Forex. You can turn it, you can bake it, you can cook it. It is still the same thing. So, Mr. Speaker, we on this side will support this policy because what they have done is to continue what was introduced by Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia. Mr. Speaker, we encourage them that today's voter is sophisticated and understands what's going on. When you introduced the commitment controls, we have commended you that it is actually a good policy. You don't need to go on with this thing where every time settings. Admit it that this is a program you inherited and you are continuing. Mr. Speaker, the second point I want to make is that what this government has now announced as a policy demonstrates the confusion in their circles. A few weeks ago, this government told us that they were of the view that we had so much gold concentration in our reserves, and so they have sold 50% of our gold reserves and converted it into US dollar-based assets. Mr. Speaker, there are questions about that transaction already, the timing, the scope, and the window with which it was done. And already we have filed motions to have that transaction and then the losses on the gold purchase program properly investigated, without prejudice to whatever the outcomes will be. They have now come back to this house that they are asking for policy approval to go and, among other things, buy more gold to shore up our reserves. Why would you sell 50% of our gold reserves only to turn around a few weeks later that you want policy approval to go and buy more gold? And by the way, at the time they sold the gold, prices were around $4,000. By now, it's somewhere around $5,200. So already we have lost about $1,000 an ounce on the quantum they sold.
Honourable member, your time is up.
Right. See, eno honorable Kojo upon Krumane Semwa or the Etuja Ewo Honomuchiremwa. There was a time where SSI gold reserves, about 50% of it, omo ekoye omo kotonye ewo honum. Later no musa buy say yen sign mo no musa to gold for because make can say what honorable Kojo upon Kruma edit to Johnny Chiremwa. First one omo kotonye no omaboka ena omo de amasa de release for aba say omo person musa koto new batch of gold na omo esa be assay I mean can say test na ade no omo konkoton enti oro de ohun say it wasn't a prudent action ena aban no eteki ewo ehonom no enti quickly no ye beto aso na ye de ensem no de aka no so de abremo. And yes, honorable Kojo upon Kroma, Edin some do na so etudwa ewo honomo a na ochiremu a gold for gold program ya sisi omo so magia tumi na omu nyina nim se former vice president Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and start say nti ono onti ase say the government in power sisi omo empeso mbeji atum se ade a omo be inherit ye na omo start claim se omo dia nti honorable Kojo upon Kroma ensemo a ode etu edwa enso no quickly no ye beto aso na ye de amamo a ye nyina ye bekai Abranche Charles Emisa na oye adwuma ewo Promasido ewo industrial area Abranche ifrimu ya hit and run abra otini motor so cycle car ebo no ema auto form ema ambulance be fa no all the major hospitals in Ghana ye the Abranche ichirimu ba bia ye nya bed amfa ma no ma Abranche ifrimu ya 29 years old ni picture and a daso no and the funeral arrangement ni ade and so and that squeeze no so no na ene so hu funeral poster na burial service Friday 27th February 2026 quickly no ya the mobile call funeral grounds ho eniema esisi wo ho how the whole place was like omo be kasa ni ma men so edin sem tudwa ema asem no ye ne ya osofo so a oye ohwe ma asori ne ekoso Reverend Terr0r crap eso so de nsem etudwa ewo honom enti akoya rehosem ewo honom pa me can say a lot of people are not really happy with what happened now. On our screens, Accra mourned 29-year-old Charles Emisa, killed in a hit and run at Kwame Nkrumah Circle. His funeral drew family, friends, and colleagues highlighting grief and anger over unanswered questions. The tragedy exposed failures in emergency healthcare as Emisa was moved between hospitals for hours before dying. Kolebu Teaching Hospital has interdicted staff pending investigation. His death has become a rallying point for calls to strengthen healthcare systems and demand accountability, turning grief into a push for reform. Any updates now? Yes, indeed. Kolebu Teaching Hospital, they already know interdicted some health workers investigations say go so say den ye dia branch e ba ye mo ahwe na mo asoso anu mpo kakra amfa ama no ewo homa abranche no eko free mu ewo ehonom. Now a lot of people are also talking say abranche yi wey is a wake up call for road users. Say mo hwe mu ye how we drive. Don't drink and drive. When you are tired, get some rest. Any day. Quickly, we'll put that on our screens and then we'll go through it. Say, it should be a wake up call because driving, we'll drive it now, we'll text it. People will drink and then baby on tiase. And no any and some amount for the donor to just say a wake up call. Quickly, call the funeral grounds. Na yenhwe enema ekos wo ho we have series of videos omo kasa ye then finally ni ma men nsem wo kan di twato eno so ye de bema mo ti yenko funeral grounds on emra sisi. All right, so that was some of the scenes from the funeral grounds honoma there are so many other series of videos before I call past Reverend Terr0r Crab some of the tuja or the tuja a lot of family members, friends, co-workers are free promasido or munina be PM honoma and on your screens also Charles Emisa's death should also be a wake-up call for all of us to be responsible road users. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Let's all use this to commit to be responsible road users. That is the update. I'm for the donor a survey as a wake-up call to a year or more driving a year Accra has say. And on your screens, some of the family members and omo a because a 29 years old, young, vibrant, a young man, engineer. Na wafiri mu yaya sano na akoye arehosem wo honom a amanfo dodo na omo era ho ne co-workers on be pie mu wo honom ne church members nso on be pie mu wo honom ewo Adenta House and Down omo enso so na omo ra ho ewo ho. So on your screens ebi ene twagu no you could see young men crying, family members nso so omo ashe black and white omo so omo esu ewo honom akoye arehosem ewo ho. Charles Emisa 29 years old ebe to dwa se wa yira ye hwehwe no ebe pie mu sa branch ye firi me abusuafo nyina yakọ ene shedding ewo ehono mo enti quickly no ye be kọ ne akotie Reverend Terr0r Crab on some to just say no bed syndrome enka okọ hospital no nya ba bi kra ne to yes enka o mumfa ne to ha na ye nhwe no ya na ye manage situation no kakra se de bia ye betimi sustain no for further treatment ka branch no ho beto no. So one key thing Reverend Terr0r Crab no bed no bed syndrome was the final idea Charles Emisa ewo ehonum ema ne koya rehosem or some society examples examples of amount for currently some of them are being discharged because ye here bed ne the amount for amount bed that bed so quickly ni yanko Reverend Terr0r Crab ne nsemo o de tu dwa ye ba ne akotie ni ma me tribute no na ye de ato aso ho de amam yanko ne mra sese.
How many of us
will be truthful to ourselves that we have even knocked somebody down and have fled, even by our mirror, and we care less to go back and go and check what has happened to the person. I am angry in my spirit, and that's why I said drivers should stand up. The birds were the last resort of killing. As I stand here, I can highlight three, just three, that the birds ended up killing. As I talk to you, there is a 26-year-old boy whose car somersaulted 6 times. And when he was pulled out, he had a spine shift, taken to Ridge Hospital. After 3 months, Ridge said the boy should go home and go and continue treatment. How can a boy who cannot even stretch hands continue treatment in Sogakope? And that is why I said I came here to make you more angry. There is a woman who was lying at the trauma center 3 years ago, lying on a bed in an hospital. The hospital command gave authority that he should be taken out and be dropped by a junction to be feasted upon by ants. And she died from the hospital, trauma hospital. And the last one, 37, a man called Apia, November. His pictures were all over the place. Apia went to 37. 37 gave the pictures across that they cannot keep him there. He has to be taken out. Accident victim support, we went there. Solicited for pampers and all that. The person was taken to Central Destitute Infirmary. I don't know if you know there. I plead with you to go to Central Destitute Infirmary in Bekwai. Apia was taken there after 3 months. Maggot was eating Apia when he was alive. This is an accident victim. I came here to charge you. I'm coming from Kumasi. The woman's house, 5 children in one Voxy accident. All of them dead. This is an amplifier. The death of Charles is an amplifier. How many of us will be truthful to ourselves that we have even knocked somebody down and have fled, even by our mirror, and we care less to go back and go and check what has happened to the person? I am angry in my spirit, and that's why I said drivers should stand up. The birds were the last resort of killing.
All right, Reverend Terr0r Crab, and I didn't some Hosem at a point talking about the fact that there are people was here discharge you more na ye bed no ma be move for now. Still now we'll take you back to the funeral grounds. Na ma hawa na ehon we sit here na ye tie ni ma nsem a wo de etudwa ye nko ne nsamra sisi. All right, and that was the scenes from a Charles Emisa and a Wufusuma Yemano, Ansana, and Neddy Dre Copeno Crabre. Now, finally, Yankoti and Samo Nagasani Mame, Eddie Tuja, because my men and Samo Eddie Tuja, her heart is shattered. Acquire Hosam, because oba wa wo no kama ye adwuma wo Promasido as an engineer na bibi se yakwakoto no a wani tua senka ye betimi agye ne nkwa na ye se bed anase empake ke obeda so ne nke ya sustain ne kakrampo ye nya bi amfa ama no ewo honom akoya rehosem amaame no eka amaame no na ode nanu di sem tudwa na akwakoye arehosem a the tribute or the man ba no edi ja no kwan no quickly no ye be ko na yakwakotie ewo ehodom na we wake up call to ye health sector because enche bia na ate se Yama me Joyce Bow crowd in Sambia Babetuja. I think say in our subsequent updates no and updates twice no yeah the ebema mo or tremor in some way a idea hard drain pa e Ghana ha say no bed syndrome na koya dia e hard drain Ghana ha say nti ye behwe na omo ahwe ho nsem e wo honom nti maame no e de e na wo ye squeeze no so no before I go hear video no or say my heart is shattered we Charles and Mrs. mother ne maame e na de in some way the mother of the late 29-year-old Charles Emisa has poured out her grief in an emotional tribute describing her son's death as a devastating loss that no earthly compensation can ever replace. Speaking at the final funeral rites held at the Methodist Resurrection Church, she struggled to contain her sorrow as she addressed mourners who had gathered to bid farewell to the young engineer. Charles and Mrs. Parson has shaken his family, friends, and colleagues, particularly because of the tragic circumstances surrounding his death. According to accounts, the 29-year-old who worked as an engineer with Promasido Ghana Limited reportedly sustained severe injuries in a hit-and-run accident at the Circle overpass in Accra on February 6, 2026. According to accounts shared by the family, emergency responders arrived at the scene and managed to stabilize him before referring him to hospitals for further treatment. However, it is alleged that he was denied admission at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Ridge Hospital, and the police hospital before eventually succumbing to his injuries, a development that has deepened the family's anguish and sparked conversations about emergency healthcare access. So that is the update. And quickly, you know, you share some more mamina kasa edit to dry or ba na yabeto so and some more the two January say.
Taking from hospital to hospital, and as each one, you were told there were no beds. No beds. While you needed emergency care, while every minute counted, while your life depended on immediate help. You deserved care. You deserved urgency. You deserved more time. You left me too soon, not because you had finished your purpose, but because the help you needed did not come in time. Yet, even in this pain, I hold on to faith. The Bible says in 2 Timothy 4:7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith.
All right, so that was a Charles Emisa Mame update, and I said the Mame tribute or the buyer and ye koya ye kutie no arehosem ewo honom. Very sad. Ti abusia fo nyina ye mamu nyina shedding ene ya akokese pa ewo honom. Ye to ansem no so na ye de amamo na medinka de to manim ewo no bed syndrome yinsem ya ekoso ma Charles Emisa efri mu ya ye say penifo dodo na especially people in the minority amode omo ehun sema ba betudwa say bibi say parliamentarian bi anase obi a oye politician ene to na enka ebehu say ebenya ba bi ede na to na ekoye ordinary timamuni de akoye nsem bebre. So we can still see on our screens videos no etwagu we na adwuma form mo ne omo wo Promasido omo na omo ato santene omo echia kama a very sad scenes ewo honom akoya rehosem enti on your screens so meka say na adwuma efo ni bia omo ato santene omo akochia ewo eyie no ase ewo ho. So rehosem kese pa ewo honom edema Charles Emisa a ofrimu yayaya akwakoye asem ewo honum. So you could see on your screens ewo eyi na say na menka na say na adwuma ye for mo ano ne omo eye adwuma na omo ewo eyi ase omo echia ewo honum no. And quickly no you call your next update so na ye de amamo. On this sad note now, we'll move to our next update. Na ye de eno so amamo ewo honum. Quickly no you call back to the United States of America. What is happening in the United States of America? You know, a former finance minister last week more a bremo update and actually say he is still currently under detention. He's being detained United States immigration or more detaining nanka appeal and as a request and as well filing for a say bail detention center hono idea immigration for no anji antum anfama no. Now the good news coming from the special prosecutor me who say good news magana for do na mo expect say nka papa be piem Ghana ha na ya hwe ne nsemu ne ehu da bia dia asem ne befa no. Special prosecutor the nsema ba betu dwa kire mu a the process of extradition, because you see one person be trying say be deported no deportation no ekoso no extradition no so ade omani edi akire pa wo honom. Now we say extradition proceedings begin in US against Ken Oforiatta wo honom. That is what we have on your screens. Currently you need extradition process no omo ashase wo honom, because a lot of people now me concerned say what is really going on, because just say the man and as a Ken Oforiatta, former finance minister, or processing for a permanent stay in the United States of America. Emma Padudu now were so much concerned. Say, hey, papa, you be try to be a man be PM Ghana ha no NSC the office of the special prosecutor or the Abetu just say yes. Papa no say the extradition process no ma shase anesa or wait me about PM Ghana ha say quickly no e recording the release office of the special prosecutor or more ede ebetu dwa kire mu extradition process ni ashase. So on your screens, office of the special prosecutor Ghana Republic versus Kenneth Nanaya Oforiatta and 7 others. The court sought clarification on the presence of the first and second accused persons, Kenneth Nanaya Oforiatta, accused 1, and his chief of staff Ernest Dako Akori, accused 2. The special prosecutor informed the court that the United States Department of Justice, through the Attorney General, has requested advice from the Office of the Special Prosecutor on whether to arrest Mr. Akori, a dual U.S. Ghanaian citizen, prior to serving him with a summons or to serve the summons before any arrest. The OSP advised that U.S. authorities should adopt the most expedient and judicious approach available under their laws. And you know, special prosecutor nim say abrantie ya mo serving summons samu hiano no se se mo pese adwuma ne yenye ne sen yenche ne fa ne mremo ana mo sen ne yenye no we ye US authorities no ana omo requested ebisa special prosecutor say adwuma no sen no mo pe no special prosecutor so edit to omo nim say omo akasa hwe process omo famu a omo betimi ede ama adwuma no aye ntem so eno Mr. Akori ono the chief of staff to former finance minister Ken Oforiatta. Now regarding Mr. Oforiatta, the DOG confirmed receipt of the extradition packet and indicated that the summons and charge sheets have been transmitted to A1. 2 proceedings are currently pending against him: immigration violation proceedings and extradition proceedings. And he said see a train immigration violation now ebetimi am adwuma na che. And currently in the office of the special prosecutor on who say extradition ebetimi am adwuma na ye ntem e de amomo. And niam am yenu necessary former finance minister the United States of America or try say obe fight a honum. So that is the current update here to us. Meanwhile proceedings meanwhile proceedings in Ghana will continue. Earlier prosecutors refiled the charge sheet in respect of the 6th accused, Kojo Damwa A6, following his application before a previous judge to have his official titles included. Consequently, the charges were read afresh to reflect his designation as Honorable Colonel or retired Kojo Damwa. And earlier also prosecutors nangasa almost refile a charge sheet in respect of the 6 accused. They know Kojo Damwa or no accused 6. Say also so ebetimi ahwe na charges ayasa de abono afresh no so ebetimi ahwe na yaka ho asem. So the case was adjourned to 26th March 2026 with disclosures expected to continue during the period of adjournment. And yes, still na enema ebe koso ewo honum na emom case na ngasa de it has been adjourned to a year March 26th 2026. The Parliament State of the Nation's address, our President John Dramani Mahama, and in the obligation as the President, say Obama the State of the Nation, or they go to Parliament, and Ghana phone in any a course on and a minority who pay co-ports. Now the other side of the majority, they were holding pictures of Ken Nanaya Oforiatta, the former finance minister of Ghana. Ono ne picture no mu holdi se omo anka so obedwane na no ne da ho no se papa no wadwane ye hwehwe ne bebia ye hu no enti majority in parliament omo de omo hu ne say yes indeed papa no he is trying to evade Ghana's law obeso odwane mra no enti na obeso ba be piem wo Ghana ha no enti ene de course baako wo parliament no later in a live update there no updates in the State of the Nation's address. The course and then someone President John Dramani Mahama edit 2 jaw holding in a updates no edit ebemamo. And it's a say idea and someone able banu chiremwa former finance minister the extradition process na chance here ekoso ewo ama US United States omo authorities no omo the abetu just process na chance here dem mom say ni de niam mienu and former finance minister FAC or United States of America immigration violations and extradition almost can a packet the dockets no charge sheets bibia all the evidence omo edia serve Ken Nanaya Oforiatta US honum whilst he's in detention. The lawyers in Saka summons no the process of extradition no omo aman in Saka charge sheet ni bi and as omo Saka extradition near man be ama who says the Ghana for here no onim dada but see o masan so de akwakoma no ewo hono mo a akwakoye asem foforo ewo hono mo a lot of people are happy says see the papa no obetimi abepiem ewo Ghana ha say na ya bramo update Russia Ukraine war ekoso no the update no bramo Ghana for do na afrim enche bia na foreign affairs minister Samuel Okudze to ablakwa ekopiem ewo Ukraine ye de no updates bramo na emu nsemo efrimu ba no so ye de be mo na ye bramo update 55 Ghanaians omo frimu ewo Ghana and I say Russia Ukraine war akoye arehosem foreign affairs minister omo mawu ewo akon ni mu nyina pictures ene de abobo ho na all go through and I say oh you who say we Ghana ni so per BBC news world news omo updates omo de buy yes updates we ye din kan de abram that ebobo din any obia ni age any ade emamo ewo honom and yes that was a foreign affairs minister awokogina ho at least Ghana for aduonum num that is 55 and omo afrim ewo Russia omo kokonto kwade ma Russia omo afrimu ewo honom Russia and Ukraine de no ewo honom omo afrimu na picture ye ko hwe no was a former American say no foreign affairs minister okopiem mo Ukraine na o demand say Ghana for mienu ayache omo Ukraine no nke beja omo na omo aba se de be ya I mean yanko counted death toll no enkosoro because these are they classify them as war criminals enti omo war prisoner wo Ukraine omo achi omo wo ho enti foreign affairs minister ni release how they buy here as to what really happened no ye the update no ebe ma mo sese enti ono agasa post here X And quickly, no, a foreign affairs minister Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa Samoa or the Etuja Ewohon say last night I was given a rare access to the highly fortified security camp where prisoners of war are being detained in Ukraine. I thank President Volodymyr Zelensky and Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha for granting my request to visit the 2 Ghanaian prisoners of war. I can confirm that our citizens are alive and well. Their rights under international law have been commendably respected by Ukraine authorities. And yes, Ochiremwa, wakosra omo na omo hoye, omo rights, international law and our rights are protect you omo no. Ukraine authorities no one make sure say omo ediso kama ewe hono mo akwakoye eye enigisem hono mo. See, I appreciate that my request was quite unusual and the first of its kind from an African foreign minister, as I was informed. I am therefore immensely grateful that our request was not declined in affirmation of our cordial bilateral relations. Now, it's all this is the first time I will be saying say a war criminal and I say obia and tokomu yachino are of different country na yachina tum na the mother country no foreign affairs minister akọ say ye request say ye be no. That was the first me can say Ghana and the first country omo ayebi ewo honum. I say this significant gesture gives me more confidence that our neighbor that our negotiations for their release will be successful. It is refreshing to hear our 2 compatriots say that they are determined to become advocates against the modus operandi of trafficking networks and willing to devote the rest of their lives educating vulnerable Africans how to avoid such a predicament. And see, updated the brand one year sinipa 55. Omo free mu omo Ghana for no. Dodo na akire mu a trafficking. You be foul oh you do call Russia. You be mo adwuma e wo se ntokọ e koso de but you be mo adwuma wo ho civil work amama ye. Omo be ga ko pie be wie no na ye de omo ekọ eye army ni mu na omo ga ko kontokwa. Eno ene nsem a foreign affairs minister edi tu dwa se oni omo di nkomo no omo age atum se omo ba abonten a omo be kire how they ended up in the Russian army. Ema enti omo kokon ye ma omo tiye omo de ya ma omo tu enko omo na Ukraine authorities omo che omo e de omo ekoto afiase nti on your screens Ghana for mienu omo Ukraine authorities omo che omo e de omo akogwo afiase because they were fighting for Russia. Ti omo age atum say omo ba abonten a they will advocate and educate the men can say the citizenry Ghana for do na about trafficking. And you be an chose you end up doing something else. Omu di omu ti anye ye de omu ko Russia, ye de omu ko military ni mu, omu ko kontokwa, and asese ye yakwa chi omu a omu eda fiase a ye hwe. So foreign affairs minister then say modi tu dwa o say in as much as said the action ya wa taking very new no or the tu dwa say Ukraine authorities no omaji atumu a omo ehunu say omo yehunu say ye menya a positive outcome from this particular case. Foreign affairs minister is pushing for this agenda now Ghana to the world, because in some way see a lot of people were talking about it. Foreign affairs minister dear first of its kind say to an among way Ghana yes you are training ye team mufo ho. Yes, the biggest asset, according to President John Dramani Mahama, or the 2 judge, and yet the shisha from gold, near box size near the no Ghana for Niptimu for most Namas accessono, almost so eka a year Ghana, ye mean can say ye resources no why you do ye Juma a ye. And Bloomberg post here say Ghana's foreign minister travels to Kiev to ask President Volodymyr Zelensky to release citizens of his country who were captured while fighting for Russia. It's a lot of people were so much concerned talking about this particular action by Ghana's foreign minister. Say, first of all, it is the first of its kind. Secondly, people were also of the view say omako konto kwane say punishment be also mo mo also mo hwe na ye de bo mo, because for all you know, what if some of their actions led to the death of some Ukrainians. And a lot of people were also talking about the fact that they chose to leave the shores of Ghana and joining a Russian army. No, some people were sharing their diverse opinions on this particular one. Per what the prisoners and as a Ghanaian citizens Russia joining military. No, almost the two they didn't know they were going to join the Russian army. And to say no more mokase omko kontokwa na yachi omo so they should face the law near de no omo se mom de to dwane say ye ka so omko akọ join the Russia army na and komo anko because we nipa dodo a ewu Ghana anko nipa 55 and nyina ye through trafficking. So that is the update. The mamo ewo honum 55 Ghanaians killed in Russia-Ukraine war. Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okuja to Black Kwanzu ko PM Ukraine and now all requested say ye de Ghana for no be back to Ghana na omo abeto ma brabo eso ewo ho Ghana to the world. Bloomberg eso so e dey atuja because this is a trending issue. A lot of people are talking about it. Ewo ho no nti e beto so na the update no e dey amamo ewo e ho no mo. Yes, on this same issue, Foreign Affairs Minister Eddie Tuja said only president, the Ukrainian president, Eddie Komobebre, Eddie Akwechre, our who say a positive result on this particular issue. Na abwa amagana for me no mako PM hono, omo atomo, and I say ye jai omo, ye di release nearby, some of them, the amagana for edionum 55 Ghanaians free mono. Say we a foreigner, Russian army no. Omo make sure say they push you to the war fronts, baby. Emu ye den no. E ho na woko piem. Na say wo no enche waso betimi ayehye. E ho. Edu so there were some videos I hear ya. Ya nkasa ye bo obi wa ha ma mo hwe ya. Obi wo ha ye timi the bomb echichire no. Ana atopaye echichire nipa no. Se onko piem e wo Ukraine for baby omo abochenku no. Tuko okopiem wo na to a wankasa ye de bomb na chechire wo no wo ubefrim ansa na ebia yenya Ukraine for no bia ebi nipa be senso enwotwe a omuso be den ebefrimu enti wuchire mu ana ye se enia ya ade a ye de ye omo e wo Russian army ni mu abra ye se o ye koma mo civil adwuma mama ye nenso ye de omo kwako join Russian army no akoye arehosem e wo honom. Yema one update, there was one Ghanaian and also the betu just say ente sa na sika bia o se de mo bia de mo ho to omo ni je ono kra kire se wo ye Ghana ni na be so be join Russian army no na mo ko fight against Ukraine na obe kire o kwan no ye de betu dwa branch ne ba bontin be deny say nya no kra ne ade say lawsuit nyina be mu ni ade. But then updates na buy no counter update na buy no from BBC Chiremwa. Nigerians are dying, Kenyans are dying, even Ghanaians are dying to the tune of 55 people. Ghanaians are more free more honum. And then also akwaye arehoseme wo honum a ye de update no ebremo. And ye beto aso na the update no abremo e wo honum. Mrs. Patricia Esiedua Esiama Evangelist Mama Pat CCM say enche bia na videos were circulating. Say na sorry dan ye hu say omo repenti because per what is currently going on according to lawyer Richard Asari otiremu a 3rd March is akabe 1 week bi ye beyi mame agrada amanaba. On your screens lawyer Richard Asari Balfour has announced that Patricia Esiedua Esiama, widely known as Nana Agrada, is set to be released on March 3rd, 2026 under Ghana's remission policy. Ghana's remission policy, what does it say? In the woman tia etimi aboa Nana Agrada and as evangelist Mama Pat obey ye be release 3rd March. Ye be kone akogin chiremu no lawyer Richard Asari Balfour ho ye ba na de aka bia to aso mam tie lawyer Richard Asari Balfour ne mra sisi.
All right, so I think issues concerning Mama Pat has a way of exciting everyone. You see, basically, when a court imposes a jail term, the prison itself has a remission scheme in place. the remission scheme is available to every prisoner. It is not a special dispensation given to anyone. It is available to all prisoners, of which Mama Pat is also part of. Basically, if you qualify for this remission, the jail term is divided into 3. The prisoner gets to spend 2/3 of it, and so to speak, the state also accommodate or take care of the 1/3. In our case, 12 months were handed down to our clients, and that will translate to 8 months. And the jail term was to take effect retrospectively. That is from the 3rd of July, when she was sentenced. Meaning, if you were to do your computation, 8 months from the 3rd of July, that will take you to 3rd of March, which is why there's been this speculation that she'll be out on the 3rd March, and rightly so. I believe this should suffice. That's the explanation. It is a dispensation in force. It is not any special dispensation given to
It is lawyer Asari Bafo and some Tuja or Chirimua. Remission policy no, and on Abua Ama Yanana and Asanana Agrada, CCAD, you bet me as you know, 3rd March. Nanchiremu de ba ye no mame enchiremu kakra ne mfama remission policy no echiremu sometimes omo serve ewo anase ye mobi menka na say sentence more than 1 month obi a qualify for that remission policy no, because according to the number of years I had ma na nagrada 1 year and 1 year no the remission policy no say qualify ye becha wo sentence no mu miensa timiensa no be serving mu mienu o serving mu mienu a de aka no aban ebete anase aban bete e de afri ho de amount and now when na agrada first of all your sentence to 15 years 15 years no omko appeal ni ete so de ba 1 year and ete so de ba 1 year na say akoye 12 months and I say say remission policy no wa be qualify bi a you've been industrious o call you no adwuma o ye bi wo do ho hye ne emam prisons omukoye bibi na wo de akire wo kobi ye adwuma wo ye bi ene o conduct wo hu here and also so of good conduct wo ye good conduct I mean another conduct wo hu here men kana sa e prisons wa wo qualify sa remission no onzu betimi enya bi enti it is there for every prisoner enti nyesa Mama Pat or e bia or ye special na say or ye known enti na ono anya sa eye remission ni because enka ye remission ni e de man na enka still na o best 4 months cause okomu July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February na say 8 months enti nka ko obe 4 months aka ko betwa e de aka ho ba utemu miensa e be 4 months na ono a7 mu mienu ti obekom 8 months enti July to February February 2026 no na just say men can say 8 months e wo ho enti okomu 3rd July enti wo check here time I be you no e be 3rd March enti no e na lawyer e de atudwa e wo ho no nti 12 months ni nyina no nana agrada be kom 8 months per e wo ho no so that is the update free nana agrada you din kan de mamo say ye unsa sorry dan no omo repainti o ma start sa painti e wo ho no mo a em say asori be sa start enche bia every Sunday we benya update e de free Mama Pat na asori ho no heaven way we benya update e de free ho every Sunday bia Mama Pat nya ba pe and Thanksgiving no nya akro e wo ho no enti according to lawyer Richard Asaribafo or they told you say Mama Pat obetimi aba back 3rd March e di enimi na say aka be 1 week na Mama Pat we free efiase e wo ho no Joyce Bawa Moktari presidential aide osanso presidential advisor e wo honom e de ma President John Dramani Mahama na yedinka te ho de ma e kire mo say wakasa about no bed syndrome ne ho a ono so de nsem to dwa say ade ha adwen na ono so wo a scenario ono so edi to dwa abrantie oda screens yi so enso enya accident a wo ho no mo a ekoye arehosem e wo ho nti wo hwe a in your first picture ne nsa ye mienu on the second picture no obo se ne nsa ba akoye den eni ho nti wo kire mu a lack of amenities e some of our hospitals eno ene koma asa ensem wei eto abrantie yi according to sources no or one of the NDC executives the northern part of Ghana akoye arehosema mami was trying to recount how the no birth syndrome is affecting lives in Ghana here. It's way Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, she's a maritime lawyer or some kind of presidential aide, sounds a presidential advisor to President John Dramani Mahama. She's very key in the current NDC administration. And on your screens, also good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I am compelled to share a heart-wrenching account that underscores the urgent need for improvement in our health care system. The no birth syndrome is a stark reminder of the systematic failures in our healthcare infrastructure and design that require immediate rectification, given the consequences for all stakeholders and their loved ones. And she is compelled, Bibi Sheno, say, Oma meche sansem way, bubu akuma, enfranchire yenyina Ghana for, na otremwa, sa no birth syndrome, any improvement in our healthcare system, Ghana has say, no, we have to take a critical look at it, because affecting the consequences of it is affecting all stakeholders and their loved ones. A lot of people go to the hospital. Charles example, Reverend Terr0r also there's one man, 26-year-old, accident on also the Majid's story is a case in point. He miraculously survived a horrific motor accident that occurred at the height of the 2024 election campaign. Regrettably, he spent several hours, at least 6, trying to access medical care. In my role as campaign spokesperson, I intervened by contacting the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and thanks to their swift action, medical help arrived in the nick of time. Unfortunately, the delay had severe repercussions, including significant blood loss. That necessitated the amputation of his arm to save his life. If the ambulance had an IV line, if the hospital was readily available, and if he had received emergency care, who knows, his story may have been totally different. It's not same one. Abrantie ya na the two screens ne so no na your friend Majid in the wake of 2024 election campaign time on the whole screens ne so no campaign time an okonya accident. Emma, he was experiencing a lot of bloodshed, moja tunu bebre. Emma emu ye bia no munya hospital mpomfa Abrantie yi nko enumu ena oye fast oye ne ho ye hurry contacted Tamale Teaching Hospital. Emma almost edi ose ye oyo omutie eye Mrs. Joyce ba Mukhtari Esquire omutie na samba ya ombefa eye Abrantie yi edini free eye accident scene ho Emma and first aid omusan so de ne call hospital omni do hospital na moja etu Abrantie no how severe and no na also mo pe kwan bi so no mo je ne nkwa enti na also mo twa ne nsa nto hwa ne nsa no ne nsa nifa na mo twa free ho and I cut left no. I say this gentleman is the NDC treasurer for Salaga South, and this could happen to anyone. Thank you, Dr. Titus Biyo. Now I say Dr. Titus Biyo ne boya Abrantie sisi eni ho atono anemu mare ho seme wo mne se ne nsa baako eni ho. Nti oso tiremu a no birth syndrome no affecting kofo bebre, and it raises costs. Say your hospitals no ye beboa na ya equipe omo with the right tools omo de beye adwuma e wo honom. Nti Abrantie na down screens ne so no an energetic man and who sisi ne ho so ne nsa bibia ye adwuma na because of lack of proper amenities in our hospitals. Abrantie we're losing in Sabako, honum akwakoye, arehosem kese, honum. It's on your screens. Abrantie Majid, as Mrs. Joyce Ba Moktari, editu just Abrantie no, echo somewhere 2024, and Abrantie enya accident you trying and sa edi free honum. So that is the current update. A free Mrs. Joyce Ba Moktari presidential aid or sounds like presidential advisor honum and no updates and yede mamo no so ekasa about no bed syndrome Ghana for do na ahase na nim say President John Dramani Mahama de ho nsem abetudwa o kiremu asese idea according to state of the nation's address no or the abetudwa say ye behwe na ya make sure say ye be equip your hospitals no. She was also talking about the hospital system ewo Ghana ha se de ekono or say ehwe ne hyemu kena se de be ya sa ne ma bi sei no so ebetimi ate ewo Ghana ha sei. So that is the update from Mrs. Joyce Bawa Moktari honum eba. Yebeto so na yede update no edi apremo. Yeko Germany na Germany yenyenim say the late Daddy Lumba okotena ho kakra one ne wife Mrs. Akosha Sewa one no ekotena honum kakra ewo ho. So on your screens team legal wife president Mame Akosha Sewa ono ededa screens ne so no na otwi mu ana omoye so me demonstration Ghana's embassy Germany na omoye demonstration na branch bi kopie ho abranch ne din BJ kopie ho na o say timwa demonstration ya mu ye infaso be na wo so on your screens o say Ghanaian men in Hamburg, Germany confronted supporters of Daddy Lumba's widow Akosha Sewa team legal wives over the relevance of their actions after they staged a demonstration in front of the consulate of Ghana in Hamburg. And yes, BJ ekopiem and obi so senti mu ade mu yen emfaso ben and e woso. And quickly ne yanko how interaction no esikoye because right after that police for by on the fan no e de ne koye. Nti yanko video no na yemra sisi
Talk about things that are relevant. Talk about things that are relevant in the country. What will it bring? What will it bring to the country? Tell me, what will it bring to the country? Huh? What will it bring to the country? Emma, you are talking about bribe. Move forward, move brother, tell me where the I want my face to come. You leave my camera. Leave my camera. If you want your face to come, irresponsible guy. Leave my camera. He's a very irresponsible guy. Sir, Muma Yankano Kre. Weno, Edemwa, maybe some. Tell me, Edemwa, Edemwa, mine. Tell me. Missy, we have important issues in our country to talk about it. This is the Ghana flag. We have important issues in our country. Talk about it. Demonstrate about it. That is the most important thing. Demonstrate about it. Papa, we need better roads. We need good hospitals. This is what you should talk about. Not this useless, very irrelevant issue. Talk about it. And when they are here, good roads, good hospitals. Papa, where you're from Ghana. Talk about that. Emma, and mommy camera. Maybe camera didn't see with him. Maybe see with him. No, dear, who's about him. And I'm on Casa and Papa Sano. They be a Mugu Ghana for any mass. They be a Mugu Ghana for any mass. I dear Yamuye. If I saw them pan at the background. If I saw them pan at the background. It's a real Muria than I'm pay free. Muria than I'm pay free. What is the truth? What is the truth? What is the truth? What is the truth? Just convince me what is the truth. Tell me what is the truth. Oh, some super so baby, me didn't see when you never able.
Either children to work, get property, give to the children, and feed.
So this is your problem.
No.
This is your problem. What will it bring Ghanaians? What will it bring Ghana as a country? What will this bring Ghana as a country?
Enti BJ enana ode eye ninsem etu dwa kire mu a de mu yei emfaso ben pa na de be bre Ghana ewo honom enti na ono de emse na ni nje ne ma ekoso ewo honom no enti that is eye the updates coming in from Germany na BJ owie ye na ho na no mo frɛ police team legal wives o mo frɛ police e de ma eye BJ e no mo ba ye ena omo be fa eye BJ ko enti quickly no ye be kono akwa he video a ye be peja BJ Germany police for omo be peja BJ ano omo de no eko eye police eye custody enti ye kono he sa video no ne ensa no asese
Camera off BJ mo fa ne nko na ne to sa me a o to sa me a o ba so that
yes, with a popular request, producer Sabo sa video ni bi onenti because background sound no me ti bi achem but Sabo yes an hear sa video in time di BJ every Ghana embassy holding e kono yes an hear sa video ni mra
camera off BJ mo fa ne nko na ne to sa me a o to sa me a o ba so that
yes, what say ya na yes BJ na omo etwabo no ewo ho no na police for ma ba omo ba be fa branch no e de na call police custody enti na eno ne update free Germany ba na branch ni kire mu ade omo yen emfaso ben pa na de be ma Ghana se mo asesa mo ho abegu Germany Ghanaian embassy ewo Hamburg amone omo etwe demonstration say you are seeking me honokra mentiase enti ono no kiremu ade enfaso be pa na de beba amagana fo ewo honom a na ono de na nani enhyeda enye ho ewo ehonom ama police force so by ampa be fa BJ ede no efri honom ede no ekoye enti that is the updates coming from Team Legal Wives, the German branch of Team Legal Wives ewo Hamburg ene de emamono. Now quickly no ye ba be call the ministry Ministry of Youth Development ye be call honum na ye the update the abremo MDK ewo honum MDK bomdi mame wenya ambassadorial role and is Honorable George Opare Ado, Minister of Youth Development or the sama ba betudwa sese omo power MDK medical sese ono na ba be ambassador to red means stop an anti-drug campaigner omo asase no nti on your screens. Also, Honorable George Opare Ado, Minister of Youth Development, has announced that that Ghanaian rapper Medical will serve as the new ambassador for the National Youth Authority's Red Means Stop Anti-Drug campaign. The initiative aims to educate young people about the dangers of substance abuse and forms part of the ministry's broader strategy to tackle the pressing issue. And to say the MDK, or no, Ministry for Youth Development, omo de abetudwa say omo apaw no say ono ena MA ambassador for a Red Means Stop anti-drug campaigner ministry no omo are rolling out ewo honum enti amanfo dodo na were showing concerns about a new role yede ama MDK because omo dwene ho a dodo na omo ensheda entiase na yedi announcement ba ye from honorable George Opare Ado ho eba ye pe na MDK ankasa so ebe confirm ye ewo menka say obe confirm ye ewo ne X na reactions there bebre but before that ne yonko tie honorable George Opare Ado mra no de nsem tudwa no ewo parliament ye ba na abeto aso de amawo.
In a strategic move to enhance the campaign's appeal and credibility among the youth, the National Youth Authority has appointed renowned Ghanaian musician Medical as an official Red Means Stop ambassador. Medical's significant influence among young Ghanaians, particularly those his music and social through his music and social media presence, makes him an ideal advocate for substance-free living. Performances among young people and engaging with young fans on substance abuse and dangers and supporting peer advocate training and mobilization initiatives. Mr. Speaker, building on the momentum generated by the research that the ministry conducted, the campaign launch, strategic partnership, and celebrity ambassadorship, the National Youth Authority has developed a comprehensive roadmap for intensifying interventions against the UNIM red trend and broader substance abuse challenges. 1. Nationwide billboard campaigns. The objective is to create high visibility public awareness across all 60 regions through strategic billboard placements that reinforces the red means stop message in high traffic areas. The billboard will be strategically positioned in the following high visibility locations: major highways and transport corridors, city centers and market areas, school zones and youth gathering points, bars.
All right, and the honorable Ned in summer to your parliament, naturally more. You buy a billboard, you buy adverts, you buy a TV commercials near day, I buy who videos near the do wanna and all vantage points. I did some of these adverts, and I said, you did some of these billboards, ABCC, a to say bus stops, highways. Any baby a vantage points be on betting maybe CCBano or more EDB ABCC one more a chance idea MDK a ambassador or no any ever fight a abuse of drugs Ghana honey powder no mubisa say na no agasa na anyum to fono okay to the end to us honum na MDK ono agasa ebe posti about the new appointments I dey amano no or the hunsem ebe to dwa e wo no agasa na X handle so e wo honum ti quickly ne ebe akọhwe ono agasa na announcements on your screens. As an ambassador against drug abuse, I stand for life, growth and purpose. Drugs only bring distraction. Let's protect our future and say no to drugs and substance abuse. E wo honum enti o kiremu a as an ambassador to as an ambassador of drug abuse, yes, Ochiremu or say or no hunu say obeboa ama ya fight a drug abuse Ghana ha. Na nensema ode tudwa ewo mu esa Ochiremu or say I never openly campaigned for any political party in particular. I am in for the betterment of our nation, and so far President Mahama is doing extremely well for our country. Ewo ehonomo. I for the reply. I think we saw one of them. Was a medical openly campaigned for Mahama and admitted to favor NDC, and I don't know why anyone will be surprised. So, omunim say Abrantia no openly obejina baby a campaign kakra. Edema President John Dramani Mahama enti enya wan say appointment bi say etimi akọ ede amano enti that was some of the reply and ebi mo ede ba kire mu a na ono so na adwuma oyeye e na etimi aboa ama waba benya sa appointment we e wo honom enti on your screen is still medical no angasa ni post say as an ambassador against drug abuse. I stand for life, growth and purpose. Drugs only bring distraction. Let's protect our future and say no to drugs. Enti medical any hunsam ena yede emamu no yebesa so ahwe MDK nensam a oposti ye ni bi. But then before that no ye hwe se betimi asa tie honorable George opare adobio a yebetimi asa tie honorable George opare adobio ewo honomu a enti yes, that is the update yede emamu ewo honum MDK se say they currently ono ena ebeye ono ena ambassador to a red means stop for the national youth development no ewo honum. And yes, Pinaxtv. Yeah, there are a lot of updates. Bremo ewo honum a megidi say oni etna ya what here and some no ebi bebre ewo ho. Pinaxtv. Yeah, the mo besi ewo ha.